So a few of you have been wondering why we've got this 40-ton aircraft tug in the yard and what our intended plan is. And we'll let you know now. It's not for towing planes. Thing we get on this soft ground, and it's doing well. So, if you've never been in an aircraft tug before, bench seat, nice driver's seat, tiny little steering wheel, air handbrake, like a lorry, quite a delay on that, automatic, so simple. We've got 2 forward gears. It doesn't have enough power with a Perkins V7 to actually use the second gear, it just doesn't have the power. It has got a heater in here somewhere. It's also got air conditioning with this fan. It reckons on the speedo it can do 40 miles an hour. I severely disbelieve that. The fuel gauge always shows full. The oil pressure is nothing, it's got no oil pressure. The gauges made by Smiths are actually working, which makes a change. Anyway, the reason we've actually got the tug is for the winch on the back. We've never used it, so we want to remove the winch off the back and put it on something else that I'll tell you in a minute. But before we do any of that, we need to find out actually if the winch is any use. So I'm going to try and use the winch on this tug to tow that Centurion ARV, which probably weighs about 45 tonnes, despite it missing an engine and gearbox. So it'll be quite a test. If we tow that out of its hole, we know the winch is good. And I have absolutely no idea how to engage the winch, so I think that's the first thing I'm going to try and work out. I don't know what that is. It's still in gear. That's dangerous. You could crash it. Obviously the handbrake isn't very good, still driving shit. Definitely in neutral now. That would have been a good way to die, running yourself over the 40-foot tug. That looks so freaking slow. I've no idea if you should winch over that or under it. I'm going to go with under it. Or Boughton, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know how many ton it is, but it's definitely XMOD. You can see the NATO green underneath it. As well, the giveaway that this tug's Army. It's got a NATO style 24 volt outlet, so we know it's a MOD tug.
Hang on, let me move. Don't want an ankle broken by that.
So, this hole's 1946.
Old.
I'll wave it on it from there. Right. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen now. I think it's going to bring the tug to the Arve. That's what I think is going to happen. But there must have been a reason they put the winch on the back of it. I think it was so if a plane came off the runway, they could winch it back onto the tarmac. Yeah.
Be careful. Have you been eating poo? Pooey. Naughty. Sweet time. What have you got, Pooh? What have you got? Bring it here. Nice. Nice. Oh, I think this is going to end in A&E. Useless.
So as I suspected, that was an absolute fail, but not the winch. So we now need to anchor the tug. And I've got just the thing. Can anchor it to, but this will make it a little bit more interesting and dangerous, but mainly interesting and dangerous. Possibly go.
No?
I think it needs a snatch block.
Is that what
move at all?
No, one bit.
Not one bit.
Is that what you call completely useless?
Well, normally you do the snatch block.
I don't think that would help it.
Well,
no.
It was pulling the
There was
bulldozer
nothing.
forward at one bit. Did you see that?
It didn't even move like a fraction. Well, I don't know actually, look. A little bit of dust has moved off that rock.
Oh, it has gone back. Look, 2 mil.
Keep pulling. Oh dear. Okay. Watch this, it's going to go wrong. Oh dear. Jesus. Come on, out of the way. Ted. Oh, look at it go. Oopsie. Come on, Pooey. Let's have a look.
That is just crazy powerful, isn't it? That cook's got handbrake on, pulls that with a handbrake on, and this on tick over, 1200 RPM. And I was turning. Unbelievable power from that D9. So it's all going to make sense of it, but what I want to do, I've got some hardcore coming, which is why I want to move this. I'm sort of using this as an excuse. I want to probably reconnect the winch cable on this far eyelet now, because we've steered it away from that mound, and I want to put it straight down there for the time being. So, well, maybe first I'll just see now if it'll winch on its own. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
So keep out of the way. Very down.
Oh, he's got a ball. He's found treasure.
Whoa.
He found treasure.
Stand clear.
I'm standing clear. You're ruining it. Stop. That's really unhelpful. Ted, that's a trip hazard now.
Oh, my whistling diesel
Oh
shirt got ripped.
no. Oh dear.
Cody, it's supposed to be quality. We'll edit that out. We don't want him to look bad.
Maybe your nipples are just really sharp.
Let's see how far we've got it out. Let's see what it's come over.
She went a fair way.
Look at all these ruts they've got it.
Ow, ow.
It weren't exactly bogged, but it weren't exactly ideal for it.
No. She went a fair way.
I don't think that would have took any pulling out of there, but it did.
It did.
Surprisingly enough. Right, we'll pull it a little bit more, try and straighten it up. Made a slight mess there. That's the only problem with the D9 is you can always tell where it's been. Not a sort of, are you enjoying yourself there, Pete?
You're ruining it.
Has he just found that?
That's the one he stole from Walt the other day and buried.
Right.
Ted, stop. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
So now, after a very successful test, the plan with this is to remove the winch and all the winch gear, the giblets, and put it on the ripper on the back of the D9, because we've been inspired by that Al Quering that does all the D8, D9 recoveries in America in the woods. And we thought we'll work together with Crouch Recovery and we're going to build our own recovery D9. So we thought this would be quite a decent winch to try it on. That was quite a good test. It would have easily done it with a snatch block, with just one snatch block I think, but it was also good to see how easy it was for the D9 to drag the whole lot of them along. So the plan is we're going to take this off and we're going to fit it on the back of the D9 on the ripper arm, which we'll show you in a second.
Hello, Jackie.
Right, so the plan. We're going to try and use the existing frame and, what do you call it, the ripper arm with the rams. We've sent the rams off to bonding and reline to be repaired before we even start the project. But the idea is we're going to use the original rams so we can force instead of like the ripper shank, which would have originally gone in to rip up the rock and the earth so that it was easier to bulldoze. We're going to get rid of that and we're going to make a spade. So the idea is on the end you force a spade in the ground to act like as your anchoring point, and then sit the winch on the top, and then we're going to run it off the power outlet behind there. There's a shaft drive from the engine. We're going to mount the oil pump directly to that, so it's got its own oil system for its winch, rather than use the third service, which we'll need for lifting the thingy up and down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what we'll probably do, or what we'll definitely do, is replace the spool valve for an electronic one. So you ain't got to be, as you can probably see where that is, winching right next to the thing is incredibly dangerous. And when you're winching this sort of heavy stuff, you do not want to be stood anywhere near there for obvious reasons. I know everyone screams and shouts and says how dangerous we are all the time, but winching is dangerous. End of story. But having the winch control right next to the winch is lethal. So on a remote, we'll be able to stand way out the way, and we'll probably put a big bar frame against that window. So if anything was to come back and there was someone in the machine, it hopefully wouldn't kill them. Because when you're dealing with this sort of thing, it is pretty dangerous. So we'll show you the I don't know what you call it, the ripper arm thing. We'll show you that now, and then we'll basically show you the rough idea. But what we've got to take into account is that's quite a wide winch. Obviously it comes up quite high, we don't want it to come up and smash itself, so there's a bit of working out to do.
It's creaking.
We'd also be interested in, it's creaking because I didn't put any brakes on, it's just rolling into place.
Okay.
We'd also be quite interested to hear everyone else's thoughts about this idea. Do we think we're using the right winch? Or, you know, we'd be quite interested in hearing everyone's ideas on the idea. But this wants to be like a last resort machine. So say if you're in the woods and there's an excavator that's been bogged or beached, you know, like a 30 tonner or something like that, something fairly decent, something big, this is a machine that you'd use to try and winch it out. That's the idea. So let's go and have a look at the other piece. So this is the ripper. This is the ripper shank bit, which would normally go in the ground and rip the rock up and all that. I don't think we're going to bother with that, because that's not what we're trying to do. We're going to replace that for like a spade or something that sits on the back of this. And obviously the rams lift on there and it pivots off the back of the machine there. So I'm thinking we could mount the winch near the end and put plenty of lashing points all over this whole frame. Again, be interesting to see anyone else's idea on this. Is it a bad idea? Is it a good idea? We want to be able to use this for the most ridiculous tank recoveries. We want to use this for the most ridiculous tank recoveries possible if we ever need to, you know, if we ever come to something that's been beached for Christ knows how long. We want this vehicle to be able to take it there and know for definite whatever we go to pull out comes out. And being a D9, it's not brilliant on fuel, but it's a lot better than using a Centurion ARV or something like that uses 20 litres a second of petrol. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. How would you do anything any different? What other alterations would you do to the machine? We want to keep the blade on. We want it to look fundamentally look still like a D9 bulldozer. We don't want to take the blade off or anything. We still want that because that could be a useful thing for, you know, pushing the wet ground out the way or something like that, or bulldozing an area into a woods if you needed to. So we want to try and leave the blade, maybe attach eyelets on it, or a secondary winch under the machine. I don't know. Let us know what your thoughts are. And yeah, we are nuts. And we'll see you again in another video on the D9 winch project.